Hey everyone, what's up? How's it going? So photography is something that takes skill, right? Almost everyone can do it, but only after going through lots of practice and learning the basics of photography. However, if you learn how to use and master these 5 things, then you are on your way to making some banger shots. Let's go. Now, keep in mind, not each and every one of these tips is necessary to make a banger shot. However, if you use all of these in addition to a great subject, then I'm pretty sure you'll be able to make something that you love. Number 1 is movement, and it's exactly what it sounds. Try to add something like a moving car or someone walking, just to show that your shot isn't completely static. Although static shots are sometimes stylistic and they're meant to seem still, most of the time you want to add some kind of action to your photo. This could be someone walking down a path as you see their foot moving, or right here you can see I'm floating. The way I was able to achieve this was increasing my shutter speed so that there's no blur, even though all I'm doing is just jumping up into the air. However, sometimes you can use blur to your advantage. Like whenever snapping pics of moving vehicles, if you keep a low shutter speed, you could actually use that to make the background blurry while still keeping the vehicle, the subject, nice and clear. This helps show that the car is moving at extremely fast speeds. So just remember, movement is key when you want to add action to your photos. Moving on to number 2, which is leading lines. Now, most beginner photographers have heard of this, but don't actually know how to use them. Think of these like arrows pointing to the subject, telling the viewer to look there, but they're actually embedded in the photo. So you could use something like a wall or a desk or just really any kind of line in the shot and use those as like virtual lines that are just pointing right at wherever you want the viewer to look. It may be hard to understand at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's a very basic yet transformative function that you can use in your photography. Alright, number 3 is aperture. Now, aperture isn't something that's good or bad, but learning how to use and control aperture can really help you mold the shot into something that you enjoy. Whenever you decrease the aperture, it adds kind of an isolation effect, adding a nice bokeh behind the subject. This helps remove distractions and help the viewer look at the subject, similar to leading lines. You may be familiar with portrait mode on iPhone. Now, this is something that artificially fakes aperture, and it'll blur the background of the shot without actually using a real shallow depth of field. And that just reminds you that whenever you are shooting portraits, you want to use low aperture. It'll make the shot look really nice. Alright, moving on to number 4. But first, I want to tell you about my new water bottle over at DaVinci.org. It has this nice, sleek editing design on the outside, and the bottle is made of stainless steel. It doesn't leak or anything. It's a great thing to keep on your desk and really add some aesthetic feel whenever you're editing. Along with the water bottle, there's shirts and hats and tons of other things on the store, so be sure to go check it out at DaVinci.org. Link in the description down below. Alright, number 4 is framing. You can see the difference in these 2 shots. On the left, I look really caved into the shot and it's kind of awkward. But on the right, I have this nice big space open in front of where I'm looking. This is called looking space, and it's one of the basics of framing. It's based upon the foundation of the rule of thirds, which are these natural lines that humans generally look at whenever seeing an image. It's important to place subjects and objects of high importance along the intersections where these lines meet. Just like leading lines, they help the viewer know where to look. It's also important when shooting portraits that you want to have headroom. Don't cut off the head. That doesn't look great. Alright, number 5, our last one, is color popping. This isn't very popular and I haven't heard many other people talk about it. However, I feel it's an interesting technique that can really help bring your photos to life. First, you want to find a very low saturation setting. So this could be a bunch of gray items, black items, white items, things like that. And you just want to lay them out and help really make that environment. And then find something with a bunch of saturation, something very bright in color, bright blue, bright red, whatever. And this could also be whatever you want, like a mug, a book, anything. Then place it in the environment and take a photo, and you'll see that it really helps that object pop because of the color that isn't present anywhere else in the shot. You can even go in afterwards and use an editing software to remove all saturation from the background, ensuring that the color pops as much as it possibly can. And those are my 5 tips that'll help you get on your way to making banger photos. I might make a sequel to this video, and if I do, I'll need more ideas, so be sure to leave your thoughts down below about what I should add and what other tips you think others would find useful for photography. I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe if you found this helpful. It'll really help out me and this channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Gotta have high, high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars, but you know.